The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Billy sung that song yesterday in the handover from Paris to Los Angeles for the closing ceremony of the Olympics.
I thought that LA handover when they went to LA.
What do you think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was really simple, but it looked like fun, didn't it? The palm trees in the background, it just looked like it was a good time.
It was very urban, and the reason I want to bring it up is because I think urban's the word. Like, Billy's got a sense of that kind of, very, what's that, like a street?
Yeah, street.
About it. Chili Peppers are kind of, a bit of a grungy kind of feel about them. Then you had Snoop and Dre. Obviously, Tom Cruise did his theatrics starting in Paris with the abseil and then finishing off with that video sort of montage landing in LA.
Can't wait to see him abseil off QE too.
That's going to be
in a few years' time.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah. Or Shepherd down at Streets Beach, South Bank.
Exactly. But the point that I want to make here is that there's one name we haven't mentioned through all of this that surely would have been the first phone call they made when they're announcing, when they're making that transition from Paris to LA. LA literally take the flame or the baton. Taylor Swift. Like she would had to have been asked, which begs the question then, did she say, no, I don't want to do this at this point?
I reckon she would have had to have been a part of the conversation, because if you look at it and they go, we need to represent Hollywood, who's the biggest star?
Yep.
Tom Cruise would be about the first name that would come up.
Yep.
They got him. You go, hip hop. You go, Snoop and Dre.
Yep.
Like,
it was Snoop owned, he owned the Olympics.
Snoop owned it, but they got Dre in to perform as well.
Perfect, down at Long Beach,
Complete
California.
OGs that got that squared away. And you think of pop music or music, she's the biggest artist in the world.
Clearly, no doubt. And so, whether they...
So you reckon she brushed it?
Well, I don't know. She's had that... You mentioned before to me that, she had that incident where the terrorist sort of threats, whatever, with those concerts she had in Vienna.
Yep.
Yeah, in Austria. That was only last week.
It was last week. I'm looking at her next gig, according to when I looked up Taylor Swift tour. She's playing Wembley Stadium on the 15th and the 16th. So today is the... What is it? Today's the 13th.
Well, there's no way that LA thing was live though. I reckon they would have filmed that months ago, because they would have.
You reckon?
Oh, 100%.
You don't reckon it was live?
No,
They had to have had. You imagine if it was a rainy day.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they would have had a specific day locked in. They would have probably gone, we'll wait for the best day. And I wouldn't have exactly.
Be on call.
And her schedule's crazy, when you think about all the gigs she's doing.
Yeah, but they would have had to have asked the question. There's no way.
I agree they would have asked the question, but I just wonder whether she just thought, there's too much of me right now. I've already got the world tour, and she just thought, I'm happy to let Billy have it.
She's in Europe, clearly. She's got Wembley in a couple of days. So, the obvious thing would have been she pops up out of the stage at the Stade de France and sings.
Yes, because she's there already.
That would have gone...
Yes, I bet you that's what they would have been.
So in my book, she said no to that.
Yeah, she must have. I reckon you're right. They would have had to have hit her up. She would have most definitely been a part of the conversation, the wish list at the very top.
But the other thing as well is, don't forget, it's obviously it's in America, but it's LA. Billie Eilish is from Los Angeles. She was born there.
Yeah.
So
it's just Billie was very low key. That song's a very low key song. She was just up on a kind of a life-saving tower kind of vibe. You think of the obvious, I'm saying Taylor Swift obvious. I'm saying Miley Cyrus party in the USA. That conversation would have to have been.
But neither of them are from LA, I guess is my point.
No, but
party in the USA is an LA song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And LAX.
They're representing their country.
I'm just saying Billie Eilish is from Los Angeles, so maybe that's why they went that angle.
Yeah.
Where's Snoop Dogg from?
I got no idea where Snoop's from. I feel like he's probably from there as well. That's a good point. The only thing that could...
Long Beach. He's from Long Beach.
Oh, and that's where they actually performed.
Yeah, so maybe it was an LA thing that
Dre
they did.
lives in LA.
Yeah.
Malibu or something, right? He's got one of those houses down there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Pimp ass. Yeah. It's okay. That's interesting, though. Yeah.
Do you reckon it wasn't live?
There's no way.
Hang on. I got Nick just looking at you with disdain. They're going, no way, Jose.
But that means...
I don't mean Jose.
Okay, put it this way, right? There's
no way it was live. Well, it would have been... We worked out it was 3 p.m. Mate, I didn't know what the weather forecast was like in LA yesterday, but it was.
27 degrees. So
But that means
Yeah,
that
because
means
they
that
had,
they
like-
would have recorded that. They had a big crowd there.
It wasn't that big.
It was 500 people.
Yeah, that's not that big. They can rent a crowd like that in Hollywood, Danny. That's an extra set. That's an extra set of a TV show.
I don't know. I reckon in this
Yeah, they had boats,
day and age,
boats out on the water,
but
luxury boats.
Yeah.
and
What that
like-
means is that it's just a random Wednesday afternoon, like 2 months ago, down at Long Beach, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden you've got Billie Eilish and the Peppers playing. LA 2028 signs everywhere,
Yeah.
and nobody pulled out a mobile phone and let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it'd be like-
they're
it
all
would be like a
probably
movie
hired
set.
actors. I wouldn't even be surprised if the sky was like edited, like to the point there's not a cloud in the sky.
Oh, I reckon you're overthinking
Nah,
it.
it's the
Marky
biggest show on the planet.
Marky Mark can't even shoot anything down here in Brisbane without people having it all over their phones.
It's a good point.
in the morning.
I don't know. So,
I think it was too big for them to risk anything. I reckon they locked it in
You're
the bag.
all in that Hollywood is involved.
100%.
It was all K5 and the sun wasn't even shining.
Yeah, they filmed it at night time.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
All right, I've done some digging. We were talking before about the LA the little concert thing that happened down at Long Beach.
Whether it was live or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've just scoured. If you want information, you go to Reddit. And I found a Reddit thread saying that it was pre-recorded 2 days before the closing ceremony.
There you
By
go.
the looks of it.
So I'm still doing the timeline on Snoop. I'm sure I saw him in Paris around that time, but private jet straight back to LA maybe.
It's a
Yeah.
12-hour flight.
Yeah, he slept for 12 hours.
Yeah, it would have been
as a
fresh.
Daisy, wouldn't
Yeah.
he?
And there's pictures of like Billy and Snoop Dogg arriving in a golf cart. The other thing as well, it was filmed at Rosie's Beach, which is a dog beach in LA. Completely closed off to the general public. All of those people in there were either film students or extras. So everyone was
go.
either paid
It's a film
to be.
set.
Yeah. So
It
apparently.
was total Hollywood.
Yeah, people were like peeping through holes in the thing and setting up on play equipment. That was
it-
there.
it-
So that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at the crowd closely on a replay, it does kind of look like a Sims crowd.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
Like,
On the same movements.
Like a computer game.
And all those palm trees that are there were all fake.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
How good. That probably says more about the LA Olympics than anything else.
And didn't I say that to you yesterday, actually, as they were performing? I said, how cool does it look with all those palm trees and that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to the set designer.
Like if you come over, I've got a Google Images map here of Rosie's Beach. That's exactly where it was
It's like
filmed.
a car park on
Yeah.
and those beaches down there, like they're not. It's not like you're at Coolangatta or at Surfers Paradise. They're like big, long beaches, long way to the surf.
Although I do think
Yeah,
those
they've
ships.
completely smoke and mirrored that.
Yeah, the ships in the background though, I reckon they're real because at least on the Google Images one I've got here.
Yeah, because there was
They're in the background.
luxury boats. That would have been again. That's part of the film set.
Yeah.
like the sets were specific. The angles they were taking behind Snoop Word was the light guard tower with the girl in the bikini.
Yeah, and they might have just got lucky with the weather because it was beautiful, 27-degree day there yesterday and sunny. So
They jagged it.
yeah, they probably jagged it with a couple days ago.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Burn! It's cold in here. I said there must be some content in the atmosphere. Here we go.
Pitch a bit of gear at us. Lockie v. Alicia. So who's the defending champion here? Oh,
Me.
Alicia.
Alicia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, loser also today has to go pick up the phones when I solicit for Kid Leroy tickets.
Okay.
Spread out of here, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, boss.
Who's going first?
I feel like Alicia should because she's defending champion.
All right, Alicia,
All right,
5
I'll go
seconds.
first. Yep.
Here you go.
Box office hit behind the scenes drama causes internet conspiracy theorists to run wild.
You really utilised that 5 seconds, didn't you?
That's a big sentence. Okay,
I thought she said box office.
She did.
Yes.
I did.
Absolutely did,
My
yeah.
bad. I was thrown in.
All right, Lockie, 5 seconds.
An Aussie band has been caught up in a phenomenal case of nominative determinism.
I don't know what that means.
God.
He's done that deliberately.
Nominative determinism.
This is the guy that writes the Smarter Than Sue's questions, by the way.
What is it, 6/8? What did I get wrong yesterday?
Yeah.
No,
What?
5.
36 divided by 4.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was. I'll own that. It was the. I pressed the 8 instead of the 9 on the keyboard.
I don't really know what Lockie's is, and
Normative.
Determinism.
I'm more interested in the showbiz element. I think I'm going to go Alicia.
Yeah, I'm going to say the box office, the conspiracy theory. I'm going to go with that. Plus, I think the normative
Basically.
whatever you
Yeah.
said, that's a
It's
deep
quotable.
dive on the podcast.
Sure, we can unpack
we'll do
what
a
that
deep
means.
dive on that.
3 from 3 as well. I would have gone Alicia. 13/24/10, the Kid Leroy new show date November 14 at the Brizzy Entertainment Centre. Quavo's going to be there 1-4 as well. Book a Ticketek, but if you want to go, Lockie is about to pick up your phones. 13/24/10.
Make sure you
Ask
get
him
that
what
line.
nominative determinism is. It's
See if you can get it through.
the code word
Yeah.
for the day.
Right, what's doing?
I'll re-say the headline because I did mess it up. So, box office hit behind-the-scenes drama causes internet conspiracy theorists to run wild. I still can't say it.
No.
This is why I don't talk on it.
What's the story?
So it ends with Us, the new movie with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Which in the box office is gone.
It's going crazy.
What's
Yeah, she's like in the top hits with her
Along with her partner.
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw this.
Jodie went to watch it the other day. She went to watch it on Friday, and she said that she'd go back and watch it again. if I
It's
went with
very
her.
good. I
She
went to
really
watch it
enjoyed
on the weekend as well.
Very
it was
cheeky.
very
Or
good.
chick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chick flick. Yeah, but it's very good. I would recommend. Blake Lively's a phenomenal actress. Phenomenal
Yes.
actress.
Beautiful one.
We know you know.
Jode said it's not too chick flicky.
Okay.
It's not too. It is chick flick, but not not
Beaches.
over the top. It's not beaches.
Well, there's a bit of conspiracy theory about what's going on behind the scenes because Justin Baldoni is the guy that plays her husband in the movie, and he was also the director of the movie. But people have worked out that nobody from the cast, including Colleen Hoover, who wrote the book originally, follows him on Instagram, despite him following everybody else. So he follows everyone, and nobody follows him back.
That is strange.
And it's kind of prosed all these conspiracy theories about what could have happened. Like he was also, people noticed that he was on the red carpet. He didn't take pictures with anybody. He just stayed to himself. So normally with obviously these big blockbusters, the main cast takes pictures side by side.
So they're saying there was
Didn't
a falling
happen.
out.
Maybe, yeah, it looks like it. There was potential that he could have had a feud with Ryan Reynolds because he apparently had heavy involvement in the movie, even though he wasn't like credited. He wasn't supposed to, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, Blake Lively was quoted saying that they help each other. He works on everything I do. I work on everything he does, is what she said.
Like their two box offices at the moment are almost equal.
Yeah.
And the first time I read in the notes, first time that a couple have had that
32
happen
years, I
since Demi Moore and
Yeah.
Bruce Willis in Ghost and Die Hard 2.
Wow, that's a
been a
good
long
stat.
And then
The couple.
A couple, different movies.
individually up against each other
Yes.
with the top 1 and 2 box office hits
Yes.
at that time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Interesting.
So they're helping each other out a lot on it. And then when he was asked if he thinks he would do a sequel, he said that there's better people for that, and I think Blake Lively is ready to direct. So take from that what you will. It sounds,
Pushing
No,
that.
I reckon what he's saying
sounds
there
like a bit
is,
of a-
she was stepping on his toes.
yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
There
Wow.
you go. A lot of drama.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Hey, can I switch gears just for a second? I
course.
saw what the NRL is going to introduce on Grand Final Day this year. Did you see this?
Is this confirmed? I saw this was that they were touting it, but yeah, I have seen it.
they're looking at it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I hope they give it the green light, and it's a 100-metre sprint between the players, between the
Oh,
fastest
yes.
player. Like you think about it,
Bring
Luttsy,
that back.
Where do they come up with these ideas?
the fastest player from every club meets there on Grand Final Day. That'll beat any pre-game entertainment. I actually think the TV ratings for it will be through the roof as well. I'd
Yeah, it's
tune
like
in
a
for that.
mini stall gift, right?
I feel like they do
right in
this at the
middle of it.
AFL. Do they do this at the AFL, Nick?
I've had this since 1979.
What, every AFL grand final?
There's a little gap, but yes, essentially.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, well,
It's been a while. I mean, League used to do
Yeah.
it as well, but it was a long time ago. Last time I saw one at a footy, no, not even a footy match. I think the cricket used to do it, like at the lunch break. They used to have one of those handicap races where everyone starts in such different times.
oh, well, for cricketers.
No, they had like the local
Darren Lehman.
actual local athletes that would come out.
Oh.
I think the Adelaide Test used to do it. It always gets a good response from the crowd.
It'd have to be the players, obviously, that from the clubs that are
you want
competing in
good
the grand
ones.
final. But you
want first graders.
You want like Jake. Yeah, you got to be a first grader.
Yeah, 'cause you used to get
an
Jerry Jobber
established
from the
name.
Colts would
yes,
come out, some
and you go,
kid.
he's never going to play first grade.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
need names.
He's not gonna-
names.
yes, you have to have a minimum. You have to
Yeah,
play first grade.
Travojevic,
Yes,
one of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Probably not Jake if it's a
Jake,
running race.
because he pulls his hamstring when he does that, doesn't he?
Jason Saab
He's quick, isn't he?
from Manly.
Pereira.
Reese.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be playing the grand. No, he won't be
No.
actually. Yeah, sorry, I just hope wishful thinking. But names. That's cool.
Dom Young
Young.
is quick.
Yeah. I wonder who'd be the quickest. Anyway, I hope it goes ahead. If AFL's been doing it, that's great because I bet you everyone loves it too. It's been there since '79, so
Yeah.
it might be a new thing for the NRL Grand Final.
Cool.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Alrighty, Kate Campbell, the obviously Olympic champion, was part of Nine's coverage in
Paris.
and heading back for the Paralympic Games, but has darted back to Australia, we believe. Kate, you're back on terra firma, is that right?
I most surely am, and the first thing I did was went and get a proper coffee. I mean, I know that the French do lots of things well, but dear Lord, someone needs to go over there and teach them how to work a coffee machine.
Is that right?
It's funny the different things that that push your buttons. When you're
Coffee's no
travelling.
good in
Well, I don't
Paris.
drink coffee.
In
I don't
Paris.
know, but Kate, is it or not? No good.
No, no good, and they don't have fresh milk. I mean, I was nearly tempted to break out the Nescafe Blend 43, but didn't quite get that desperate.
Oh, really?
What's that one? My mum used to steal them. Mum and dad used to steal them from like motels. International Roast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what? Well, your mum would take the little sachets.
Yeah. Just store them in case.
Johnny, put this in your wallet.
Because they restock them every night if it's not there.
Stock them, so you got to take them.
Oh, there's a look behind the scene. Oh, just before we get into how great the performances were by our athletes, what about the accommodation over there, Kate? Because like traditionally, you're in the village. You go to Olympic Games, you're in the village, you're a part of it. I guess this was your first time outside of the village. Is it like you and all the Channel 9 crew? Did they book out one hotel or apartment complex for you guys, or how did they accommodate you all?
Yeah, we were all sort of just spread across different hotels across the city. And like you said, it was really different for me to be at an Olympic Games and not staying in an Olympic village. And I was just like living in a city that was hosting an Olympic Games, which is a really different experience.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. There was such a buzz and such a hype around it. I think that in the lead into an Olympics, there's so much negative press around how unhappy all the locals are that these events are taking place and how much of an inconvenience it's going to be. But I did not see one grumpy French person, which I have to say is probably like a world record because they're notoriously cranky.
Yeah,
That's because they don't have good coffee.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that must be it. But it was such a joy to be amongst that buzz and that hype. And I think the most exciting thing about it was that I know that in 2 Olympics time, that's going to be Brisbane. We're going to be hosting this huge event, and it gave me some idea of like the scale of the event and how incredible it is that little old Brisbane is going to be hosting the biggest sporting event in the world.
I think on the back of what you just said, and as an athlete, you live in what I call like the capsule, the Olympic capsule, if you like, where for those 2 weeks you are completely immersed in the Olympic Games. And Paris is such a big city that as a whether you're doing media or I was there as part of the workforce doing some announcing or whatever, you've kind of float in and out of that because of the size of the city. I think there's an opportunity in Brisbane to almost give everyone that athlete experience where once you arrive in Brisbane, or if you are in Brisbane for those 2 weeks or the 4 weeks with the Paralympics as well, you actually are completely immersed and completely inside that capsule for that amount of time.
Yeah.
I think the size of Brisbane gives us an opportunity that maybe some of the other host nations past and moving forward to LA won't give you.
Yeah, and I think that what the French did so well was that they leveraged on all the wonderful things that Paris has to offer and the French has to offer. And for them, it's like these iconic buildings and, we saw some of the most stunning venues. Now, Brisbane, bless it, I love it. We don't have an Eiffel Tower.
No, we
don't
can't compete with
have
that.
the Palace of Versailles. But we do have things that are so unique to us.
Yes,
and we
correct.
have natural beauty.
Yes.
And it's about what the French did was they showed off their city and their country to the world. So they showed off Paris in all of its glory, and then they showed off all the little French quirks of culture. There were local songs that they sung at events before. There was like a tradition of opening each event where they would like bang a stick on the ground 3 times.
I love that.
The 3 stick
and that was and that stemmed from like the old days of the theatre when someone would come out and bang on the stage 3 times to get the audience's attention before the theatre
Showtime.
started. So
Yeah.
so cool. But like now we get to think about what makes Brisbane unique and special, and what do we want to show off to the world. And yeah, I've just come back and I'm like full in the Olympic fangirl phase.
Yep.
And just so excited about what Brisbane can do.
Well, it's nice to hear some excitement from you, Kate, because, and you're right, we've got so much to offer. We can't compete against Paris when it comes to, the Notre Dame, all these beautiful buildings, and they've got. But as a country, we don't have the history. We're a very young country, but we've got natural assets, beautiful beaches, and so much that we can be proud of that we can show off. But what do you make of Sally's comments in the paper? It's front page today. Brisbane risks embarrassing Australia on the world stage in 2032 if it sticks with a lacklustre, no-frills athletics stadium in the suburbs. Are you confident that we're not going to be embarrassing ourselves 2032?
Look, I think that we have a long way to go before anything is locked in. And I think that having had a look at Paris, we need to really have a big think about what we're going to do and where we're going to host things. And I know that cost of living is an issue and that building stadiums and venues are expensive. But what I witnessed in Paris was incredible. And the legacy that those games are going to give that city is going to extend well and truly beyond the Olympics and well and truly beyond the Paralympics that are going to be held in 2 weeks. So what we need our government to do is we need our government to think proactively. Brisbane and Southeast Queensland is only going to grow and get bigger. And what do we need to set it up for the future? And how can we use these Olympic Games to set things up for the future, for the growth of the city? Melbourne, and it hosts the tennis in January every year. John McCain was the Premier of Victoria, and at the time when he was looking at redeveloping Melbourne Park, everyone said, no, that's going to be too expensive.
Yep.
It's awful. And now, look, we have one of the 4 Grand Slams of the world. Little Australia does, and we did that because someone wasn't afraid to take a risk, was forward-thinking, forward-looking, thought, yes, this is expensive now, but for the future of this state and the future of the people here, this is going to be an asset to us. And I just think that we need more people to be thinking like that. And I'm sure that we have a long way to go. We do still have 8 years, but the clock is ticking.
Yeah, it is. And they built the MCG. Melbourne's population was 1 million people back in '56 when they built the MCG for the Olympics. They built a 100,000 seat stadium, and guess what?
Change the city.
It's still there, and it's a real asset for the city. We've got to go.
Yeah.
It's
when are you heading back to the Paralympics?
So the Paralympics start on the 28th of August. I'm actually doing the calling from Sydney.
Oh, from Sydney, okay. Yeah.
I'm going to be calling all the swimming races. So I'm going to turn into a little bit of a nocturnal creature, and I'm going to be bugging Australia and encouraging them to do the same, because the Olympics are great, but guys, there's no rest because we've got the Paralympics starting in just a couple of weeks.
Live and free on the 9 Network and 9 Now from August 28. Kate, love your work. Look forward to watching you during the Paris. Fantastic stuff.
Thanks, guys.
The Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.